Namaste and welcome to the Divas That Care Network. I am your host, Gia-Raquel Rose, owner of Airs Above Yoga, and you are listening to Above the Ground podcast. If this is your first time tuning in, our network is going into its 15th year and listened to in over 30 countries. I would like to personally thank you for giving me the gift of your time, as it is always my honor to hold space with you. And today we are going to talk about a meditation, and then I will lead you through a guided meditation on again, I should stop saying favorites and playing favorites because I say everything is my favorite, but we're working on our upper chakras. This sequence, as I like to kind of tongue in cheek steal that word from yoga. But essentially working on the upper chakras. And we talked a little bit last episode about asana and different postures that can help to support the upper chakras. Think third eye chakra and think crown chakra, located just above the crown of the head. And so meditation in and of itself is essentially kind of the best way to stimulate those upper chakras, especially your crown chakra. So when we talk about asana, a lot of people will get caught up in the physicality of the alignment between the posture and the chakra that it may help to support, benefit, balance, clear, etc. So because we already discussed that to a certain extent, one thing that I don't talk about enough that I truly do love and will probably start to bring more into our conversations is pranayama, which is breath work in yoga. And when we're talking about specifically moving from the physical body, and when I say physical body, we're talking about the torso and the legs and the arms, right? Like the things below the neck where the bulk of the chakras are, right? We have our root, we have our sacral, we have our solar plexus, we have our heart, our throat, our third eye, and our crown. So when we're discussing asana and how yoga can benefit each chakra, or really the bulk of the meat and potatoes, if you will, of a yoga practice focuses on maybe up towards the head and neck, but specifically more into the lower root stabilizing chakras, right? Your root chakra, your creativity seat, your sacral chakra, your power seat, your solar plexus, and your heart, the bridge to the upper chakras. When we start to talk about the upper chakras in the throat, they're a little more, I guess, literally or physically, however you want to phrase it, condensed through from the throat to the crown of the head. So there's literal less space in theory between them than there are in the chakras in the body. So when we're talking about that and we think about asana or physical movement as a way to stimulate those chakras, we start to become slightly more limited in how to use the physical to support I'll call it metaphysical, although I don't love the connotations that go with that word. So we'll call it the less space that these quote unquote chakras will take up, while not necessarily true. We're talking about when we're looking at the chakra in relation to the size of the body or the placement of the chakra within the body. So when we talk about stimulating those upper chakras, meditation is a huge part of that. It's definitely a way to start incorporating those chakras into your practice. It's one of the reasons why we have Shavasana. It's one of the reasons why meditation and yoga are limbs together that go hand in hand. And breath work is another great way to start supporting those upper chakras. Now, breath work in and of itself with regard to asana, yoga, is the two cannot be extricated from each other. Breath work is a part of yoga. It is a part of the asana. So I kind of will chastise myself for not having spoken more thoroughly about it to date, and maybe I'll do just a whole breathwork episode. But essentially, when we're talking about breathwork, different forms are more suitable for different things. So I'm going to, because it's probably one of the most familiar breaths, I'm going to touch very briefly on Ujjayi breath. And that is the ocean wave breath. That is a breath that you shouldn't say traditionally, I have to stop myself, that you typically will find yourself practicing in a vinyasa or a strengthening, a little more fast-paced class. It is a breath that fires the core. It is a breath that fires the body and that creates balance. And I'm not going to go into how to practice it because we'll save that for another episode, because there is a breath that I want to go into before I start our guided meditation today. And that is if I had to pick a favorite and play favorites again, probably my favorite breath. It's called Nadi Shodhanam, and it is a balancing breath between the left and right hemispheres of the body. So, as I know I've mentioned in the past, if you're not familiar, essentially in yoga, the theory is as follows that our body is divided into left and right hemispheres. There are nadis that kind of balance and flow. This creates the Kundalini energy. This creates the channel up the spine through the chakras, etc. It's very, very complicated. When I tell you that I'm giving it like the broadest brushstroke, I'm almost ashamed to make it that base. But for our purposes today, essentially the left side of the body is responsible for the feminine aspect. It's related to the moon. It's related to cooling, to calming, to subduing. While the right side of the body, the hemisphere of the body, is dedicated towards the masculine, the active, the sun is the planet it is associated with. And I shouldn't really say planet, but moon and sun, right? Solar and lunar. The sun is dedicated to the right side of the body. And like I said, that heating, active side. So when we're talking about pranayama, Nadi Shodhanam is one of its meanings, one of its practical uses is to balance the left and right hemispheres by controlling the breath intake through the nose. And it's kind of a fun one. I find it very, very relaxing. And with enough practice, you can actually lose the hand itself because your hand will play a part in this and simply begin to focus, I should say, have the breath pause in each nostril. And so I'll explain it. Essentially, depending on how you would like to, like, let's say, for example, it's the 3 o'clock slump, right? And you're in the middle of your afternoon and you are feeling a little bit downtrodden or tired or just trying to get through the end of your day. If that was the case, you're going to want to begin and end on the right side. And that's breathing in the breath through the right nostril and exhaling through the right nostril, because that right side, again, is going to stimulate that heat, that fire, that passion, that sun energy, that masculine active energy. Let's say other way around, it's towards the end of the day and you practice your yoga at night and you're trying to calm down from a hectic day, start to relax, tap into your body, just kind of chill. Then you're going to want to begin and end through the left. And that will start to switch you over into that relaxed state of mind in theory, right? Now, I will say that there is a practical application for this for anyone with road rage. As you can practice this breath while you are driving, I highly, highly recommend sitting in traffic, being frustrated, any of those things. If you are alone or don't mind people looking at you, having your hand over your face and breathing in this very specific targeted way, then I can say that starting and ending through the left side of the nose is a great way to kind of take a step back, take a deep breath, and bring yourself out of that aggravated headspace, essentially. So to give you exactly how to perform this and why I bring this up is I like to think of breath work as similar to the heart chakra, a bridge between asana. And again, it is all one, right? It is all part of the same thing. But when we start talking about the upper chakras and, we're not really going to be able to put our head into a warrior two, right? That's kind of the concept that I'm coming from. Breath work is a way to stimulate, obviously, the throat chakra. And in this case, specifically a little bit more targeted towards the third eye chakra, but ultimately leading to the crown as well and clearing and creating those channels so that the energy can flow freely. That's our goal in theory, again. So because of that, breath work is a great way to consider, if you want to put a label on it, consider incorporating as asana for the upper chakras. While it is not technically true and it is pranayama and it's all its own and it's a part of a yoga practice, a part of a yogic lifestyle philosophy, however you want to, again, label it, pranayama in and of itself is wonderful. I like to give that kind of other way of thinking about it so that for people that are like me, somewhat literal and like to have like rules to follow and outlines to go through, it's a way for you to start to think of ways to stimulate these upper chakras with the idea of keeping your body engaged with the actual mind, chakras, upper area and still keep that physical aspect to deepening your practice into a meditation. So coming from that point and coming from that place, you're going to incorporate your hand, right or left, doesn't necessarily matter. If you want to take it one step further and you're going to try to, let's say I'm going to use my right hand because I want to have a little more energy for the rest of my afternoon. So in theory, you're going to take the ring finger and the thumb of whichever hand. And again, I'm taking it a step further. You can use whichever hand you prefer. The left hand, if you want to, again, stimulate the left side. We're going to go with the right hand for this one. And you're going to take your index finger to the opposite nostril and your thumb to the same side. So thumb on the right nostril, ring finger on the left, to middle finger and index finger over the middle of the nose. And then what you're going to do is take a nice deep breath. And for those of you that are not watching this and are listening to this, I encourage you to go check out the YouTube channel and check it out. It's on Airs Above Yoga. So beginning by blocking or closing off the left nostril, breathing in through the right, holding that breath, plugging the right nostril, and breathing out through the left nostril. Repeating this, breathing in through the left nostril, plugging, and breathing out through the right. Again, inhale up through the right, close, exhale through the left. Inhale through the left, close, exhale through the right. And so on and so forth. I'm already feeling better, already feeling a little more in my body. Now, if for some reason you have any contraindication that are sinus related or, breath work, if there's anything going on with you, pulmonary system, obviously I will leave that to a medical professional, but this is a wonderful way to begin to deepen your breathing, have conscious choice and focus over your breath and its ability to still your body, still your mind, reset your nervous system, and practice a form of quote unquote asana, which is truly pranayama, but we'll call it asana for the upper chakras as it begins to stimulate the throat, the third eye, specifically for this particular pranayama. Now, all of that being said, we are here to talk about meditation. And so when we talked about inversions on our last episode, and we talked about stimulating those upper chakras, the point of that, right, is to create. It's to create something out in the world to kind of start to tune into what your purpose is for yourself on this spinning ball of rock that we call a planet, and what you not only what your passion is, because follow your bliss, follow your passion, right? But also, like, what is it that you are here to create, right? Like, if we are all beings just moving through, like, there's a reason. I believe there's a purpose. I believe there's a reason. So what's yours? And so this meditation, I hope, is going to give you, maybe me, also you, an insight into what your creation might be, what it is that you are here to not cultivate, because we kind of did that last time, but to actually bring into existence from nothing into something. And I hope that this meditation can help anyone who listens to it tune in, quiet down, and receive guidance from their higher self, divine source, whatever you call it, whatever you believe in. I support you, and you're right to believe in it. And also allowing that channel to open up through you to receive insight for your highest and best good. That's what we're here for. Now, having said that, when I do these guided meditations, I also kind of put myself into an open, receptive state. And again, as a Reiki master and practitioner, it's something that I do quite frequently, and I'm practiced in that. So if this is not something that you do all the time, please don't be frustrated if the first time you try it, you don't get some sort, I'm not saying that you're going to follow this meditation and then be struck by lightning with this amazing $1 billion idea. No, this is a stepping stone to get you there. And I encourage you to listen to it as many different times as you like. And I encourage you to try every meditation that I put out. And I encourage you to try any form of meditation that calls and speaks to you, because we are all special snowflakes. We are all different, and we need to celebrate that and not quibble over it. So if this is not the right meditation for you, please, that's okay. That's fine. But I'm putting it out there into the universe. I'm creating it. It is my creation for you. And it is ultimately a channel, I believe, and you can roll with me on this or not, but I believe that what I am channeling through these guided meditations is coming from source, divine, above me. I am just the conduit, much like the Reiki energy that I pass through into my clients and friends. So with that in mind, I'd like you to begin to set yourself up in whatever way is comfortable for you. And I will say, because I've mentioned this in one of my earlier episodes about Shavasana and the different ways to take it, is maybe challenging for some people. I, for example, don't love, because of my neck injury, to stay prone. When we're talking about stimulating the third eye chakra, if you're comfortable and you want to try to meditate prone, and I would say, on your yoga mat, for example, and, hand palms stacked, forehead resting, so that you can breathe. If you can breathe comfortably prone, or if you sleep prone, and you want to have that connection between the third eye and the ground, I encourage you to potentially try this meditation in that position, only if it's comfortable for you. Otherwise, again, you can set yourself up with your legs up the wall. You can set yourself up in a traditional meditative seat to align the chakras so that the crown chakra is at the top. And when you're talking about your traditional meditation seat, if you have a meditation pillow, ideally your hips are just a little bit, a smidgen, if you will, elevated above your knees. It reduces the angle, makes it a little more comfortable. You're sitting forward on your sits bones so that as you lift up and back, your spine kind of balances naturally and removes that kind of discomfort of sitting too far back onto your sacrum area. But again, and as always, comfort is the most important thing. Your level of comfort is going to be what allows you to deepen and tune in. So whatever, even if you're just laying flat, I know that's not traditional, but I can't speak enough to the ability of quieting down being directly related to how comfortable your body is, so it is not taking you out of that space of receptivity. So hopefully in all of my cues, I have allowed you the time to set yourself up comfortably so that we can begin our guided meditation on what you are here to create. And so with that, either lowering your gaze or gently closing your eyes. And beginning to draw your awareness into your body by connecting with your breath. And as you breathe, allowing the breath to flow through all the points of contact between yourself and the ground beneath you. And truly begin to feel very, very heavy and weighted on the floor. And yet, at the same time, completely weightless in the support that the earth provides. As you continue to breathe, begin to relax every single muscle in your body fully and completely into that support. Know that in this space, you are completely safe, completely protected. And take a moment to set your intention to receive in this safe and sacred place. Whether you see through your mind's eye, whether you hear whispers from your higher self, whether you feel sensations in your body with a sense of knowingness, in whatever way you are most comfortable receiving, set that intention now. Please show me my path. Allow me to hear your guidance. Trust that I will feel that this is the correct step on the path to my highest good. And with this seed of intention, begin to visualize a white light surrounding your entire body in whatever position you find most comfortable. And know that this light protects you and keeps you safe, and also creates around you the space to receive. Allow this light to dissolve any and all blocks which might serve what you think, but not what is true. Deeply breathe and trust this light to dissolve anything in your energetic field which might be in the way of receiving guidance for your highest and best good. Take a few breaths here. Begin to notice if you feel anything, if you hear anything, if you see anything through the eye of your mind, as this light begins to brighten in, on, and around you. Begin to breathe this light into your body. Allow it to clear the channels. Allow it to create the space not only without, but within to receive. And as the light begins to dissolve any and all blockages, begin to feel yourself soften. Soften through your body. Soften through your breath. Soften through your mind. Release the feeling of have to. Release the feeling of force. And release the feeling of control. Soften into a space of surrender. Trust this light. And begin to know with every fiber of your being how truly safe you are within yourself. In this moment, in this sacred space, in this energetic protection. And as you visualized this light flooding around you, begin to see almost like a teardrop how the light and the shape begins to reach upward. Allow this light to hold you at the bottom of this teardrop. But reach up so far above you to create a connection with your higher self, with the part of you that is also part of the divine. And allow the very top of this teardrop to become golden in color. If you have softened into this place of surrender, and if you know that you are completely safe, allow the golden top to gently roll open like a flower blossoming. And allow this opening to be your channel, protected by the gold ring to the divine. Nothing
but good, love, light, peace, and the simplest of knowing may enter this sacred space you are now engaged in with your higher self. Begin to relax your breath once more and set your intention into this channel to receive your guidance for your purpose and why you are here and what it is that is yours to create for the highest and best good of all. And then simply breathe softly and receive. And when you have received your guidance, begin to visualize the gold at the top of your teardrop. Begin to fold back up just like a flower as you gently seal your sacred space from this connection to your higher self, thanking the divine that lies within you for this communication that you have received. And then begin to watch the teardrop and the channel that it creates begin to lower itself back into the shape of a perfect circle of light around you and allow the gold that formed the top of the teardrop to now gently encompass the entirety of this white light around you, protecting you fully and completely as you come away from this meditation. Knowing that this sacred space is around you, and whenever you need to know you are protected, you can create it. You can protect yourself energetically and communicate with your higher and divine self anytime you feel called to do so. Taking a few moments to bask in this white light, sealed and protected in gold. Feel your truth. Feel what it is like to trust in this guidance and to soften into this space, knowing that you are guided, protected, and safe. Gently begin to deepen your breathing and set the intention now to ground your awareness back into your body. And do so by beginning to make small and gentle movements, wiggling your toes, moving your hands and feet, beginning to feel solid and grounded within this energetic shield of protection. Knowing that you now have the ability to safely connect with your own intuitive guidance, so you can create from a place of love and passion and joy. Taking one more deep breath and gently beginning to open your eyes. I hope that you have found this meditation not just useful for you, but healing. And if for some reason you find that you might need a little extra time in that receptive space, feel free to pause the meditation until you receive your answer, your guidance, your truth. And I encourage you at that point to continue so that you properly ground yourself as you come out of this meditation. I hope that you feel inspired. I hope that you feel protected enough to go out into the world with your creation and set it free, because it probably will benefit more people than you know. And I believe in you, and I hope that this meditation helps you to also believe enough in you to create with wild abandon for the highest and best good for yourself, for the planet, for the people who live on it, maybe even for the animals, but above all, for the harm of none and the highest and best good of all. With that, I want to tell each and every one of you how much I appreciate you for sharing your space with me, and ask that you please feel free to share the same with your loved ones. For more goodness, follow me on all the socials at Above the Ground Podcast and visit my website, airsaboveyoga.com. As always, don't forget to check out my other episodes and all of my amazing sisters at divasthatcare.com. You can find us on Spotify, Odyssey, Apple, Amazon, iHeartRadio, or anywhere else that you feel guided. Again, my name is Gia-Raquel Rose, owner of Airs Above Yoga, and you are listening to Above the Ground Podcast, where every day is a good one.